Well, I'm Ann, and this is my baby, Leah. Can I say that? Does that
No,
sound
that's not
okay?
good.
All right, all right.
Is that okay?
Well, I'm always
Yeah, I
saying
don't
it's
care.
my baby.
Yeah, you can say. Hey, my name is Leah. I'm 21 years old. I'm a student at HBU and a server at Willie's Ice House, and I've been attending underground for about a year now.
I'm Ann. I'm a housewife. I have 3 daughters and 2 stepsons, and married. Uh, this is my youngest daughter right here, my baby. We have been attending second for years, but just recently, the last 1.5 have been the most meaningful for me. Life in a blended family was not always the Brady Bunch, and I grew up watching that show religiously, and it, my life was nothing like theirs. It had its moments, but that's a different story. um, one of my girls is an addict, and having a child with addiction issues affects everyone in the family, not just her. To the youngest to the oldest, when it's this severe. As a mother, I felt that it's something I had done. I wasn't raising her right, or not setting the best example for her, and so I thought that I was to blame for a lot of her actions.
Growing up and seeing all of our family issues and having to deal with the different things with my sisters and my mom, it was really hard for me to find a middle ground in between everything. And I started off being really active in sports and everything, and then high school rolled around and I fell into the drugs and the drinking, and it first started off just being a social thing, and then I'd gone really bad into the harder drugs, and then just becoming blackout drunk all the time, and just coming home, and there was nothing really to come home to in a way. It was just everybody was kind of going their own way, living their own lives, and it was hard to really find a purpose in life, because when you don't see anything good around you, you don't necessarily want anything good for your own self in a way.
My daughter's behavior, my addict daughter, continued in and out of her um, addiction occurrences, for lack of a better word. It seemed to be there would be a period that she would be okay, and then she wouldn't. At this particular time, she had been married and had 2 children. One was a newborn, and at that particular time, she decided to go her way again, and left me and my husband with the children. Looking back, I see, and I saw then what was happening was my heart was beginning to soften with the nurturing and caring of a newborn. And it was also preventing my husband and I from our active social life that we had. So God was working, stirring some emotions at that point. Well, it was during this particular time that the baby was sleeping, and I literally remember myself sitting in my family room on my couch, kind of just aimlessly listening to the TV, and just really thinking hard about my life and where it was going, and just the changes that needed to happen in it, but just not exactly knowing what to do, just thinking that something needed to change with my life. And the phone rang, and it was my son-in-law saying that he found a suicide note from Heather, and that she had left. Well, that was instantly just, I just stood up, got off the couch, and walked into my study and just literally dropped to my knees and cried out to the Lord that to please have her not have her be okay, and that for her to see Christ in me.
Through that time, I was living in Corpus Christi, and I'd moved back to Houston, and I had seen my mom start getting into church, and she was changing her life, and she wasn't going out as much, and she wasn't drinking as much, and the kids played a big part in that. And I just remember thinking, I want that. Like, I want a life where I'm not constantly just searching for the next high, which obviously brought me so low all the time. And I saw what my mom had, and that's what I wanted, and I saw how she had changed, and that's when I started going to underground for the very first time. And it was really hard for me to start getting involved in something like underground, because it's like you go in and you think you're going to be judged by all these people who have these perfect lives, who've been going to church. And I just remember sitting in the parking lot a couple of times at underground and just not being able to go in because I didn't know anybody. And once I finally took this step and went in there, I was greeted by some really great people that have come into my life and have picked me up at my lowest points and brought me out of that place of where I was and of destruction. And I thought that I was the only one who was going through these things and had these problems, and it was like there was people going to underground that had gotten past that point of where I was and were able to steer me and lead me in all these questions and doubts and everything. She was such a big help through all of this, and just because she was always a couple steps ahead of me. And so when I was trying to get into it, she had already been into it and was always helping me and praying for me and just giving me the support that I needed to continue doing what I was doing. And ever since coming to underground, my life will never ever be the same. I could never go back to what I was doing before. And in 4 days I'll be a year sober, and it's been the best year of my life, and I would not change a single thing, anything in my life. You know, as low as we've gotten, you know, it's brought us to like
To where we
are now. And nothing can change that.
You know, something I heard the other day was your child up to the age of 10 will do what you tell them to do, and after that they'll do what you do. And that just really hit home to me. It's like, you know, that's true. They're watching what you do. And I just want to say that it's never too late to change the way your patterns are going. And here's an example right here. I'm Ann, and this is my baby Leah, and this is our story.